former British intelligence officer Christopher Steele and the former British military intelligence officer Philip Ingram. Good morning, Christopher. Good morning, Philip.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Christopher, what do you make of where we've got to this morning? It seems, was it all a lot of fuss about nothing, or has something changed?
No, I think something has changed, and what's changed, I think, is that Vladimir Putin has lost authority and legitimacy within Russia and has been challenged in a way. Yes, he's managed to worm his way out of it for the present. But to see events unfold in Russia yesterday and the speed with which the situation seemed to spiral out of control must be very concerning for Putin and the people around him.
So what do you think? Is the takeaway here that Putin is weaker than he was on Thursday?
Well, I think that's one of the takeaways, definitely. But the other bit that's there is there's an awful lot we don't know yet. Prigozhin won't have done this in isolation. He's achieved an awful lot. He's driven hundreds of kilometres in less than 24 hours when it took him 18 months to fight through 7 kilometres inside Ukraine. He has embarrassed Shoigu by getting a military capability that was under Russian MOD command, allegedly, and taking it out and taking it into Russia, capturing one of Russia's largest cities bloodlessly, and then driving towards Moscow and threatening the whole regime. There's a lot more to play out with this.
Well, let's assess who has most to worry about. Let's put Putin to one side for a moment. But it sounds like we haven't heard anything from Shoigu or Gerasimov, the military leaders. Does anybody think that they have essentially been taken out of the picture, Christopher?
It's too early to say yet, but my strong feeling would be that Shoigu is finished. Whether Gerasimov survives is another matter. Of course, Putin doesn't want to be seen to look weak by getting rid of them in the immediate aftermath of this debacle, and it may take a few weeks to play out, but my guess would be that Shoigu won't be defence minister for that much longer.
And I'm really asking about this because in the end, the big thing here, Philip, is what will it mean for the war in Ukraine? Does this give the Ukrainians a little bit of an edge, or is it something that makes no difference? Or, as Diana Magne was suggesting earlier on, that actually it means that there's somebody competent and dangerous in Belarus now who will add strength to Putin's hand?
Well, the answer is yes to all of those. In reality, from a tactical perspective, is it affecting the Ukrainian counteroffensive and the Russian defence on the ground? Not really. The Russian soldiers that are on the ground are too interested in protecting their own lives and saving their own lives. The Ukrainians are still having to fight through minefields that are still there, tank traps that are still there, defensive lines that are still there. However, where it does start to help is when it comes to the wider coordination that there is in the support that's going into Ukraine and the ability to plan forward. Because the Russian military approach is a very top-down approach. Orders come from the very top and are executed at the lowest levels. There's no initiative within that whatsoever. So there's creating confusion in there. And the Ukrainians have got an opportunity here. They can add more confusion at an operational level by destroying other command and control headquarters, logistics hubs, lines of communication, which will cause the higher command, who are confused by everything that's going on, an even bigger headache. That gives them a real opportunity that they can exploit tactically on the ground. But it will take a few days or a week or so for that to properly come through. So we are in early days at the moment.
Christopher, let me ask you finally the usual unfair TV journalist's question. Look forward a year. Will Putin still be there? And looking closer in the horizon, what can we do in this country or in the West to make sure that that balance tips in the way that the Ukrainians want?
I think it's important to say, first of all, that we shouldn't be interfering in Russian internal politics with a view to toppling a regime. However, obviously, we want the Russians to withdraw from Ukraine and to become a more responsible state. I think the main thing we can do is try and ensure Ukrainian victory on the battlefield, because I think that is where this whole thing will be decided in the end.
Thank you both for your commentary. We don't know what's going to happen, but no doubt we'll be on it all the time.